I know the title of this video sounds a little bit rage baity, and maybe it is. Of course I want people to watch and engage, etc. But I genuinely do believe keyboard and mouse has some severe advantages over controller. The sponsor of today's video is Instant Gaming, an online store where you can get hefty discounts on all of the latest games. So lately I've been playing a ton of Skull and Bones, and you can get it for 21% off on this website. You can also get 29% off the new Tomb Raider collection, 30% off Tekken, and a massive 60% off the Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. Check it out in the link in the description below, and there's also a competition in the description where if you enter that by just following them on social media and stuff like that, you have a chance to win a game of your choice from their website on February 29th. Now, I know a bunch of creators make videos and tweets and posts saying that aim assist is super overpowered and on controller it does all of the work for you. It's basically an aimbot. You don't have to do anything. In my mind, that's just massively exaggerated. It's clearly not true that aim assist is some sort of aimbot. Like, when you're playing, you can easily miss shots on controller. There are some like viral videos that go around where people find the perfect situation for aim assist and it makes it look stronger than it really is. But in a normal game, that's just not how it works. We've done a bunch of tests on this channel in both videos and streams where we've invited people to tell us exactly what to do to make it strong, and it just only works in very, very specific situations that probably won't come up in real games. Keyboard and mouse, on the other hand, has some pretty obvious advantages that you don't need particularly fancy equipment to make the most of, and you don't even need a lot of practice. They're just really clear things that you can do on keyboard and mouse that you can't do with a controller. So in this video, I'll talk you through a few of the massive advantages that keyboard and mouse have, and I'll show you some gameplay of me using keyboard and mouse. I'm normally a controller player, but I decided to hop on keyboard and mouse just to see if I was way worse with it, as you'd expect if controller was overpowered, or if actually I could do a little bit better with it than I could on controller. So here I am in the firing range in Warzone using keyboard and mouse, and like I said before, I normally play on controller. I don't normally play on keyboard and mouse. But straight away, as soon as you start aiming with a mouse, you realise the massive advantage that a mouse has in terms of you can very finely aim. You know, I could choose to aim at that guy's head, or at his elbow, or at his knees, or at his groin if I wanted to. That's super easy to do, and it's very quick to sort of acquire a target, aim at someone else, and then just shoot them in the head. But you don't just have that fine tuning, which obviously you could have on a controller. You could just turn your sensitivity down low, but you can also make quite big movements. So if you wanted to turn 180 degrees, I can do that pretty much instantly. Like, that's not a problem at all to be able to turn, aim, and then quickly get the headshot. I could even do a 360 if I really wanted to. I mean, I'm not going to be able to aim quickly enough. I don't think my eyes work that quickly. But it's possible to be able to make these big movements. Like, say if you're trying to track someone, so someone's like rotating around you, you can very easily keep track of them while you're sort of like moving, while you're doing everything else that you normally do. You know, you could be jumping, etc., and still look around you like you would if a controller had high sensitivity. But then when you need to be able to do that precise aiming, you can do that too. I missed a load of shots there, that's a bit embarrassing. But you can do that more precise aiming with the mouse as well, where you're just making very, very fine adjustments, you know, even using an SMG to shoot someone that far away. Now, that's not the only thing you can do with a keyboard and mouse. The next thing I'm going to show you is something that not all mice can do, but it's not considered cheating or anything like that, although maybe it should be, I don't know. So you can have what's called a sensitivity clutch, or I think there's different names for it. Different mice brands use different names for it, but I'm using a Razer mouse at the moment. And if, say, I am looking at these enemies and I'm moving around and I think, oh, okay, if I move my mouse just a tiny bit, like I'm moving it a couple of centimeters there, that's too much movement. That's too much movement. It's going to be hard to aim. I can just hold this button in, and now I have to move my mouse a really long way to make any kind of movements at all. So why would you want to do that? If you've got someone in your targets, in your sort of reticle, and you think, okay, now I want to keep them in there, I can do that just holding that sensitivity clutch in, that DPI clutch, and then hopefully I can aim and shoot them much easier. I missed that first shot. Again, bit embarrassing, but I'm just not very used to using the mouse yet. But that's quite a big advantage, I think, being able to change your sensitivity like that. So you can use, you know, an SMG and you can be like jumping around and you can be following and trying to aim people and trying to keep up with them like that. But then also being able to be like, oh, okay, I want to aim at someone low down. Let's lower the sensitivity and then get the headshot. That's super easy to do too. And that's just me holding an extra button on my mouse that controller players just don't have access to. I mean, I'd be surprised. I might be wrong. Maybe there's some controller out there that has something like it, a button that you can hold that lowers your sensitivity, but I've definitely never seen anything like that. Now, obviously, there are other benefits to being on keyboard and mouse. A big one is that you have different buttons for everything. So, you know, obviously I can change the fire rate of my gun and I can inspect, etc. And I can choose where on the keyboard or on my mouse I want any of those things. So, you know, on my mouse, I also have the ability to melee if I want to. I can switch the attack stance very, very quickly. I can set up all of these different functions onto their own buttons. Things that might need to use the same button on a controller. So like on a controller, if you want to go prone, you have to either, you know, you'll be going through the crouch animation, then into the prone one, because you're having to hold the button for as long as it takes you to do it. Now, on keyboard, you can just tap one button in order to go prone. Now, while the game does still make you go through the same animation phases, so you can't go prone faster, per se, on a keyboard, you are sort of using a little bit less kind of brain power, because you can just very quickly tap it in order to go prone and then focus on what else you're doing. If you don't have buttons on the back of your controller like some people do, then it can be a bit of a pain that you've got to like hold the B button. A lot of people will be taking their sort of right thumb off the aiming stick to be able to do that, instead of just tapping one button and then being able to shoot. So I think there's some pretty big advantages. The biggest one is clearly what I was talking about at the beginning, just being able to make those big movements where you're sort of turning 180 degrees or even 360 degrees and then being able to aim at someone and shoot them, and being able to make those kind of fine adjustments very, very quickly, while also being able to sort of like switch between targets very fast. I do think sometimes when people think that there's like people using aimbot and things like that, that actually they're just seeing someone on keyboard and mouse and they're not used to the fact that, like, I'm playing this, I'm getting all of these headshots really easily, and I'm not used to keyboard and mouse at all. Like, this isn't normal to me, the way I play. People who have been playing on it for years can do those kind of crazy flicks where they're just jumping between targets super fast and getting those hits without any kind of shaking or overdoing it where, you know, you go past it like you might do on a controller. I just think that's a huge advantage. So let's check out some gameplay where I was using it. So this will be a full game of Resurgence where I went in using keyboard and mouse, which again is not my normal way of playing. Oh, he got me. Smooth moves.
Time for vengeance. You're redeploying. Hostile mosquito is online.
Oh god, I'm gonna die.
Hostile Guardian has been deployed.
Is he up here? God damn, people are so good at shooting me down when I'm like that. Like, I think, oh cool, I'm like strafing and I'm aiming, and this guy's like, nope, he heard me. Blah, 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 blah. Much more accurate than me.
You're back on station. Go get after it.
I would say there is a significant difference in my mind.
Gas is inbound.
Did this person not do the... thanks.
You got a loadout drop inbound.
Not today! Mortar support incoming!
Copy that. Mortar strike inbound.
That was pretty good.
Fire sale active. Buy station prices have been reduced.
That didn't work. Should have bought a UAV as well. Bit scared that my how do you?
Resurgence.
I need to get better at like going prone and stuff. I might put my mouse buttons. Does anyone use a mouse? Like what mouse buttons do you use? What do you put on your side buttons? I've got like melee at the moment.
25 are still active in the AO. Gas is closing in.
That's the guy who killed me earlier, isn't it?
Enemies dropping into the AO.
Whoa! Okay. He just moved slightly far enough to my side. I was worried about that sniper as well. No. Well played. Well played, that guy. Hey, Mindful. Hey, can I build a Lego? How's it going?
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Resurgence has been deactivated. This is the end game.
Hostile counter UAV overhead.
Any plates?
Supply crates are restocked. Advise you load up now.
Fire sale!
Do I have time? Yeah, probably. I do find this a little bit harder to do on keyboard and mouse. Especially because I keep on electrocuting myself. I'm just not like as used to the jump distances as I am on controller. Still fairly easy though, but
Gas is moving.
Dead sight!
Bounty targets identified. Weapons free.
no gas mask.
Enemy
It's kind of
UAV
annoying, isn't it?
overhead.
Oh. What's that sniper rifle?
10
Imperial.
remaining. Keep pushing. We've got 10 squads active in the field. Primary objective complete. All targets eliminated.
I could buy stuff here.
strike near your location.
Longbow 3-1, target acquired. Strike inbound. Impact, no hits.
Hostile motor. You made it to the top 5. 5 squads still operational in the AO.
Oh,
Ground. Move it. Three squads left in the war zone. Stay alert.
GG!
Done.